One lives within the other and has been fighting for recognition for ages, while the other is on the verge of hunger, famine, and deepening political divide. Stick around to find out which country or countries I'm talking about. The show starts now. The U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, and the Nigerian military carried out additional airstrikes against Islamic State targets in northeastern Nigeria as joint operations against militant groups intensifies. Since suffering major setbacks in the Middle East, Islamic State has pivoted towards Africa, which accounted for 86% of the group's global activity in the first 3 months of this year. According to the Crisis Monitoring Group, Conflict Location and Event Data, ACLED, northeastern Nigeria is the primary base of the biggest faction, ISWAP. But other branches operate in the Sahel region and also in Somalia, Mozambique, and Congo. Louisa Olaniyi reports from Lagos.
The U.S. military released footage to show airstrikes in Nigeria, targeting the Islamic State group in the West African country. It comes as U.S. President Donald Trump said that American and Nigerian forces killed a senior IS leader in Nigeria in a mission carried out on Friday. Donald Trump announced the joint operation in Africa's most populous country in a late-night social media post. He said Abu al-Bakr al-Manuki was second in command of the Islamic State group globally and thought he could hide in Africa. But little did he know we had sources who kept us informed on what he was doing. Al-Manuki was viewed as the key figure in organizing and financing and had been plotting attacks against the United States and its interests, as per an official who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to share sensitive information. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu confirmed the operation and said that Al-Manuki was killed alongside several of his lieutenants during a strike on his compound in the Lake Chad Basin. The joint operation is the latest by both countries since their new security partnership that kicked off last year after Trump claimed Christians were being targeted in Nigeria's security crisis and threatened U.S. military intervention.
No. There's many at-risk groups in Nigeria. We're trying to help Nigeria protect all of its citizens. But there are some places where the terrorist threat converges with where Christians live. That's mainly up in the Northeast. So that's where we're focused. But we are in tune to all the Nigerian security issues, and we try to help them solve those problems.
Residents and security analysts have said Nigeria's security crisis impacts both Christians, predominant in the south, as well as Muslims, who are the majority in the north.
The terrorist issue has become something else. But if US can help us to eliminate all this thing, I see nothing bad there. I think it's a very good information, and I pray that God will help them to succeed in their effort to make sure that peace return to this country.
I don't think Donald Trump is dominating any country in the aspect of what he's doing. He's adding to development. He's adding to stopping banditry, terrorism, and terrorists in the country. Donald Trump is doing his best to make sure that there is protection of life and property in anywhere anyone is living. I think he's doing his best. We should appreciate it and encourage more of that.
The United States carried out strikes targeting Islamic State-linked militants in Nigeria in December 2025. Since then, Washington has deployed drones and 200 troops to provide training and intelligence support to the Nigerian military against Islamic State and Al-Qaeda-linked insurgencies that are spreading across West Africa. The US forces were operating in a strictly non-combat role, Nigerian military officials had said earlier this year.
In a major counter-terrorism breakthrough, Nigeria forces with intelligence support from the US killed Abu Bilal al-Minuki, described as ISIS global second-in-command during an operation in Borno State. Nigeria's military said the ground mission was carried out by troops on the Operation Hardin Kai, while the US provided surveillance and intelligence support. Days later, coordinated airstrikes in the same area killed more than 20 ISWAP fighters gathered there. Military officials say the operations are a major blow to ISIS activities in West Africa, but warned that terrorist groups could still attempt to regroup. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olaniyi, WION, World is One.
Russia has sent a 25-ton humanitarian food assistance shipment to Somalia to support vulnerable communities affected by the ongoing drought and humanitarian challenges. The delivery comes as Somalia faces a worsening hunger emergency. A new integrated food security phase classification report warns about 6 million people are experiencing crisis-level food insecurity, with some areas, including parts of Bay region, at risk of famine if conditions deteriorate further. As Somalia was facing these crises, Somaliland celebrated its independence. Here's a report.
A district in southern Somalia is at risk of famine, marking the first time any part of the country has reached such a critical level of hunger since 2022. Parts of southern Somalia could tip over into famine if humanitarian aid is not rapidly scaled up. The warnings echo findings from May 14th from 2 global food security monitors, which highlighted that one had reached a level of hunger not seen in the country since 2022. UNICEF says around 18 million would face acute food insecurity between April and June 2026, and almost 2 million were already at emergency levels of hunger. Somalia is also being hit by rising food and fuel prices linked to the crisis in the Middle East and decreases in humanitarian aid.
In Somalia today, hunger is no longer only about empty stomachs. It's about a fight for children to survive disease, displacement, and the collapse of basic services. Almost 1/3 of the population will face acute food insecurity between April and June 2026. Nearly 1.9 million people are already in emergency levels of hunger. That number has tripled in less than a year. And now famine risk has emerged in southwest Somalia if humanitarian aid cannot scale up and if drought and economic shocks worsen further, which is expected.
Somalia is also facing a multi-pronged crisis, which includes a political uncertainty as negotiations continued over electoral plans and the mandate of President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud amid disagreements between the government and opposition. Opposition leader Abdirahman Abdishakur of the Wadajir party criticized what he described as unilateral governance, calling for broader political agreement, but views on the ground were divided.
Somalia cannot achieve lasting peace or stability through centralized and unilateral politics. That's exactly what the current administration is doing.
The president has the right to lead the country to elections. Over the past 4 years, obstacles have come from the opposition.
Only 3 days remaining in the president's term. We are calling on him to hand over power. If he extends his term, it could lead to serious consequences.
Somalia currently uses an indirect electoral model, but reforms such as voter registration and a national ID system are underway as part of efforts to move toward one person, one vote elections. As Somalia scrambles with their own crises, Somaliland marked its independence anniversary on May 18th with a military parade, official ceremonies and renewed calls for international recognition as crowds gathered in the capital to celebrate what authorities describe as decades of peace and self-rule. A military band opened the ceremony, playing as guests, and senior military officials stood in salute on a decorated stage.
The government of Somaliland has met the requirements expected of a responsible, peaceful state with the rule of law and democracy within its recognized borders, and it maintains good relations with the international community.
Somaliland, which declared independence from Somalia in 1991 following the collapse of the central government, has since established its own institutions, currency and security forces. However, it is not internationally recognized as a sovereign state.
On the outskirts of Nigeria's capital, Abuja, Moses relies on powerful opioid pills to keep going, part of a growing flow of the tapentadol drug flooding West Africa, despite India's pledge to crack down on exports. As use spreads primarily among young people and criminal networks, authorities warn the trade is fueling an opioid crisis.
They come in blister packs of 10, like any normal painkiller, and you can buy them easily in roadside kiosks and street pharmacies across West Africa. Millions of tapentadol tablets from India are helping drive a deadly opioid epidemic ravaging the region, with officials and researchers claim that they are also being added to the zombie drug, Kush. The cheap pills are so strong that no regulatory authority in the world has approved them. Yet, an investigation found Indian pharmaceutical firms were flooding West Africa with the pills. Despite New Delhi vowing to crack down on the trade, some shipments were even labeled harmless medicines for human consumption.
Yeah, tramadol gives me strength and makes me happy. I got strength for man work. Yeah, it gives me strength and it makes me feel relief from pains.
There are persons that can call me.
Some people come and buy 50 pills at once. We call them pocket dealers. They buy 50 pills from me to resell them elsewhere. So in a week, we can sell about 300 pills of tapentadol.
Customs records show millions of dollars worth of the high-strength synthetic opioid being shipped from India every month to Nigeria, Sierra Leone and Ghana, where even low doses of the drug are not permitted. With opioids now heavily regulated in wealthier nations after being linked to 1 million deaths in the United States alone, some manufacturers in India, the world's biggest producer of generic drugs, are pushing hard into Africa. Kush, infamous for the speed with which it hollows out its victims, has already been declared a national emergency in Liberia and Sierra Leone.
Tell you, within a space of 2 years, we've had more than 2 billion pills of this tramadol and tapentadol and tramaking. You know, they come in different names, but the same substance.
Tapentadol tablets seized in Sierra Leone in December marked Made in India had a manufacturing license number that corresponds to Gujarat Pharmaceuticals, a company based in Godhra, Gujarat, according to images of the boxes photographed by AFP. The firm was listed in the export monitoring database Volza as an exporter of tapentadol to West Africa. Its manufacturing license number appeared on tablets seized last June in Guinea. Most people in Africa take tapentadol not to get high but to do brutal back-breaking work, experts say. Market porters and gold miners from Lagos to Mali used tapentadol pills to push through the pain, according to NGOs. Opioids are now the second most used drug in Nigeria after cannabis. Femi Babafemi of the country's NDLEA anti-drug agency said it had seized 2 billion high-strength pills in 2023 and 2024 alone.
The bandits and Boko Haram and whoever are having those criminal activities in the north mostly patronize these drugs.
90% of the world's seizures of tramadol over the last decade have been in West and Central Africa, according to a new report by the Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime. India declared the opioid a controlled narcotic in 2018, but the report said tapentadol has now replaced or supplemented tramadol in many West African countries. Lab tests showing pills sold as tramadol in Sierra Leone were all tapentadol. While tapentadol is often sold on the streets as tramadol, it is actually 2 to 3 times stronger and even more dangerous, experts say. Africa Bureau WION, World is One.
Let's head to South Africa now. A plan by US-listed Equinix or Equix.O opens new tab to build 2 data centers in Cape Town should not be approved without full disclosure of its water, power and environmental impact. A formal objection lodged with city planners and seen by Reuters and also AFP. The Housing Assembly, a social movement representing more than 20 communities in the Western Cape of South Africa, and UK non-profit Foxglove, say the application cannot be approved without the key information needed for officials to assess the project. Carl Denongmu reports from Joburg.
Nqediwe Vanqa pulls long blue plastic sheets from a box in her room and spreads them across her bed in her informal settlement about 21 kilometers from Cape Town, South Africa, to keep out the rain. Vanqa is among residents. Kenneth Matlawe, spokesperson for the Housing Assembly, fears could be affected by plans for new data centers at King Air Industria, about 2 kilometers from Cape Town International Airport. The Housing Assembly represents more than 20 communities in the Western Cape.
We need houses and a better life. We do not have proper houses. Look at the condition of this house. The rains are always a big concern. Even when I'm at the clinic, I worry so much about rushing back, thinking I will get here without a place to sleep. Even when I sleep, I cover the bed with plastic sheets to protect myself from the rain because I often wake up to wet bedding when the plastic sheets have shifted in my sleep. We are living horribly.
A plan by US-listed Equinix to build 2 data centers in Cape Town should not be approved without full disclosure of water, power and environmental impacts, according to a formal objection lodged with city planners and seen by Reuters. The Housing Assembly and UK non-profit Foxglove says the application lacks key information needed for officials to properly assess the project. As technology firms race to scale up computing power across the globe, they face local opposition from communities worried about issues such as rising power bills, water stress, noise and pollution.
We have put in objections, and we put in objections on a saying actually there's just not enough information here for a decision to be taken about this application.
As Housing Assembly, we are saying that public participation is of paramount importance. You can't develop outside of the people that you are developing for. There must be proper consultation to be able to tell communities this is what is coming, this is what will be needed for these data centers to run, this is what they will be doing, assisting the community, and this is how the community will be benefiting.
The project involves 2 large data centers with a combined projected power usage of up to 160 megawatt, according to project documents. The questions remain about backup power generation.
Water demand is also a central concern given Cape Town's history of scarcity. The city endured a severe drought in 2017-2018, known as the Day Zero crisis, when reservoir levels fell dangerously low.
Basically, one of the things we're concerned about is this designation of data centers as warehouses, because that had come out through the application that there's actually 2 data centers on the site.
South Africa's government says it plans to boost investment in digital infrastructure, including data centers, through tax incentives and policy reforms aimed at expanding connectivity while addressing regulatory barriers. Equinix is facing backlash in Cape Town over plans to build 2 major data centers. Environmental activists warn the project could strain the city's already pressured water and electricity systems. Authorities are now reviewing objections before deciding whether the development should proceed or not. This is Kaldan Omo from Johannesburg, South Africa for WION World is One.
And the business of beauty has come to Morocco. Industry professionals and cosmetics enthusiasts are getting tips and learning about the latest makeup and skincare trends at the Cosmetista Expo North and West Africa in Casablanca. Take a look.
Cosmetista North and West Africa attracts experts and importers in the beauty industry. Here, skincare and hair care intersect with innovation, technology and direct marketing. The Estonian brand Ice is showcasing a range of body care products including body scrubs, shower gels and body mists with a focus on complete daily skincare routine. Meanwhile, Goldery and More from Kuwait focuses on hair products, presenting a wide array of hair care solutions, including specialized treatments and shampoos. Products such as detox shampoos, hair straightening treatments and nourishing masks are on display, highlighting the market trend towards therapeutic products that combine beauty and hair health. A growing trend towards vegan products is evident throughout the exhibition, reflecting consumer demand for simpler, less chemically based formulations, says Walid Madi, a representative of Goldery and More.
10 years ago, people were more interested in organic products. Nowadays, they are becoming more focused on vegan products, with the goal of avoiding any ingredients that could harm the hair or the skin. Today, the trend is increasingly moving towards safe and gentle products.
Synergy Beauty from Morocco presents a range of clay masks, black soaps, natural scrubs, various massage oils and Moroccan hammam products.
We have black soaps, clays, rasol, oils. Everything revolves around Moroccan tradition and the authentic Moroccan hammam. These are very moisturizing products, and above all they are natural, which is very important. They provide relaxation and hydration while respecting all the traditions of our country and of the Moroccan hammam.
Hammams are communal bathhouses central to family and social life. Hot steam and high humidity are basics of a hammam ritual, coveted by Moroccans for its relaxation and cleansing benefits. Hair extensions from the Turkish company Truva Hair Extensions are also on display. From temporary hair enhancements to radical transformations, Asian skincare has been a booming global business for more than a decade, with consumers in Europe, North and South America, and increasingly the Middle East, snapping up creams, serums and balms from South Korea, Japan and China. At the South Korean Epool stand, spokesperson Jiwon Chun arranges a Perire cosmetic products. South Korean beauty brands often feature on social media posts.
Men often find it difficult to stick to a skincare routine every night or every day. That's why products specifically designed for men were introduced. But nowadays, men are becoming increasingly interested in skincare as well, which is why these cosmetic products are now widely available in stores everywhere.
Technological solutions for beauty are also on display. The DermaView skin analysis device uses artificial intelligence and displays results instantly on a screen, says Nihad Al-Kumaini, a sales advisor at Specta, a Moroccan company for medical aesthetic equipment.
We are presenting the DermaView, an AI-powered device that provides a complete skin quality diagnosis, which highlights the growing importance of artificial intelligence. It is a new innovation in Morocco and offers a full analysis of the skin, including wrinkles, pores, and other skin conditions. It also helps dermatologists, beauty centers, and parapharmacies by providing detailed skin assessments.
The 9th edition of Cosmetista Expo 2026 brings together 135 international exhibitors from Morocco, Italy, France, Poland, Estonia, Russia, South Korea, Turkey, China, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, India, and Pakistan. The event runs from May 16 to 19. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
And that's all the buzz in Africa on World of Africa on WION World is One. Thank you for watching.